I have spent many years documenting historical figures. In all that time, very few have filled me with equal parts of disgust and reverence. Zoltun Kulle is one of them. Ancient texts portray him in a number of different ways. A once virtuous man lost to the dark abyss of obsession, a murderer and torturer, and a heroic member of the Horadrim. But most of all, he is known as the architect of the Black Soulstone, a profane simulacrum of the three crystals Archangel Tyr bestowed on the Horadrim. Over the following minutes, I will examine how he accomplished such a feat and also speculate on what his ultimate intentions were. To begin, it is very important to understand Kulle's origins. He hailed from an Ennead mage clan, a group of renowned for its mastery of transmutation and enchantment. Like his kin, Kulle dedicated his life to the noble pursuit of these sciences, always seeking to manipulate the base components of the physical world. Deckard Cain, in The Nature of the Soulstones, succinctly described Kulle this way. In all things, he glimpsed elements of life, ripe for growth. He was, in his better days, driven by dreams of elevating his fellow man to wondrous new heights. Kulle, perhaps above all other Horadrim, had the power and the wisdom to bring his grand vision of a better world, one devoid of inherent flaws, to fruition. During the hunt for the three, Tal Rasha entrusted Kulle with the vital task of safeguarding the Amber, Sapphire, and Crimson Soulstones. The Ennead mage's expertise in the realm of physical objects made him the perfect choice for such an undertaking. Deckard wrote that he often found Kulle awake late into the night, experimenting with the Soulstones and documenting their properties. The following are some of Kulle's observations as recorded by Deckard Cain. The Soulstones are attuned to non-corporeal beings. They have no power over living, breathing creatures. They emit a strong spiritual vacuum when invoked. Once caught in its field of energy, entities are drawn into the crystals' recesses and trapped forever. Imprisoned beings can only be released upon destruction or deactivation of the Soulstone. If broken, fragments mirror the properties of the greater whole, yet each piece's overall effectiveness power, if you will, is noticeably diminished. A mortal body can augment the properties of the Soulstone. I believe there is a connection between the crystals and our kind that transcends physicality. The space within the Soulstone is both finite and infinite, both constrictive and expansive. It is immeasurable by any mortal instrument that I know of. The Soulstones contain echoes of history and time, of the origin and purpose of all things. I will not recount the events of the hunt for the three, for I have documented them elsewhere. Suffice it to say, Kulle became a master of the Soulstones. His knowledge of them soon mystified even the other Horadrim. With great fervor and determination, he applied everything he learned to help his brethren imprison the primevals. Tragically, the harrowing quest took its toll on the Ennead mage. Once mirthful and spirited, he became an unfeeling husk, numb to even the basest human emotions. Following the hunt, Kulle's demeanor darkened significantly. It is said he became increasingly wary of the high heavens. On more than one occasion, he ranted to the other Horadrim about how the Engineers Council had, during the Sin War, nearly voted to eradicate humanity. Kulle believed that the eternal conflict would inevitably scour human from existence, unless they rose to their true potential. By this, I suspect he meant mankind's Nephilim origins, a subject that he obsessed over. Perhaps in the legends of the Nephilim, Kulle found a glimmer of hope, a way to mend the tattered remains of his humanity. Unfortunately, the path he ultimately took to reach this goal was inexcusable. Kulle took leave of the Horadrim and returned to the east, disappearing into the desert outside Chaldean. Unbeknownst to the rest of the Order, he used his great powers to bend the earth to his will, forging vast archives beneath the shifting sands. To the best of my knowledge, this is where he formulated the idea of the Black Soulstone. By trapping angels and demons within the crystal, he believed it would serve as a catalyst to infuse his soul with the elements of life: sorrow, joy, love, hate, and all others. Mother told me that Kulle would lure initiate mages into his archives and subject them to gruesome experiments. He would drain their blood and extract their organs, all the while trying to distill their Nephilim essence. How he actually went about crafting the Soulstone remains a great mystery. Not even Deckard Cain wrote conclusively on the subject, but perhaps that was intentional. Of the more suspicious reports I've come across, one claims that Kulle drained some of his own blood and transmuted it into crystal. Another account states that the mage excavated the remains of a legendary Nephilim and molded the bones into the Black Soulstone. But these tales are steeped in conjecture and hearsay, and therefore must be viewed with skepticism. The important fact is that Kulle succeeded in creating the Soulstone. He then set out to imprison angels and demons within the crystal. For this, the Ennead mage journeyed to sites from the eras of the Sin War and Mage Clan Wars, places where terrible battles had raged between angels, demons, and Nephilim. To fully appreciate Kulle's vision, it is crucial to understand something related to the nature of demons. To the best of my knowledge, when one of these creatures is killed in the mortal realm, it leaves something behind. A shadow of sorts. It might be helpful to think of this shadow as a lingering portion of the demon's essence imprinted on our world. Angels, however, are an entirely different matter. Very likely, Kulle had developed a different technique for trapping angels than he had for demons, but I'm lacking in specifics regarding this. What I do know, however, is that Kulle used his various techniques to mark angels and the essence of slain demons. He planned to cast a powerful summoning spell that would force them into the recesses of the Black Soulstone. Kulle worked tirelessly to perfect his methods. It is said that he developed an entirely new system of runes for trapping and summoning demons, perhaps influenced in some way by the Vijaya magic. Before long, he had marked a number of sites around Kyrgyzstan. By this time, the Horadrim had learned of Kulle's intentions. After much deliberation and planning, they stormed the Ennead mage's shadowy archives. Kulle had planned for such a scenario by filling his lair with traps and guardian constructs composed of living sand. One of the Horadrim who took part in this mission, Ibn Fahd, wrote that many of these brethren lost their lives during the assault. In the end, however, the Horadrim prevailed. They thwarted Kulle at the precise moment when he was poised to cast his great summoning spell. Of Kulle's fate, I know that the Horadrim could not kill him, at least not in the normal sense of the word. Perhaps Kulle had truly awakened his Nephilim birthright, thereby granting him extraordinary powers. Whatever the case, the Horadrim were forced to undertake a most gruesome task, dismembering Kulle. They concealed his head in the Dolgur oasis and locked his body away in what Ibn Fahd cryptically referred to as the Realm of Shadow. I have heard rumors that this place might have been similar to the domains that the ancient Vijaya used to imprison and interrogate demons. I am woefully ignorant of what transpired with regard to the Black Soulstone. Did the Horadrim destroy it? Or, as with Kulle, was it beyond their abilities? Knowing the Ennead mage, he would likely have gone to great lengths to protect his masterwork. Mother spent years learning how to use Kulle's runes. That's why she couldn't be part of my life. She negated Kulle's spellwork and then used his magic to a means to somehow mark the lesser primevals. Having reviewed my notes and compiled this manuscript, I must ask again, what do I know of Adria? I'm quite loath to admit that answering this question with any certainty seems more intangible now than ever before. On the other hand, I have uncovered a great deal about Adria's unsavory history. This evidence presents her as a person of shifting allegiances. By all accounts, her life is defined by a perpetual ebb of flow between attachment and abandonment, loyalty and betrayal. For example of this, I need only look to her dealings with individuals such as Severin and Magda. From all of this, I would conclude that Adria cares only for the people around her, so long as they prove useful to her mysterious goals. Her drive for knowledge and power dictates every facet of her relationships. On the other hand, I've met Adria myself, and I've judged her as a courageous and brilliant, albeit unconventional ally. In Old Tristram, I believed her when she said her grand mission was to wage war against the evils of the Burning Hells. I would even go so far as to say that in every meaningful way she inspired me to set out my current path. But how can I reconcile my own first-hand experiences with the knowledge that she once led the Coven, a cult that exists to serve the very forces she claimed to stand against? If I only could meet Adria again and put my mind at ease. I have so many questions for her. Perhaps she has an explanation for those unsettling chapters of her past. Deep down, I want to believe that she has overcome whatever dark thoughts led her to join the Coven and later rule it alongside Magda. I want to believe that this strange quest she embarked on years ago and her obsession with Zoltun Kulle are both in the interest of good rather than evil. I wish this all for my own sake, but even more so for Leah's. This wish, however, also stems from an altogether different concern. In conducting my end of days research, thoughts of Adria have continually plagued me. For the life of me, I cannot understand the reason. Why, when I have so vital and demanding a task at hand, do I spend even a moment worrying about her? Is it simply because Leah is now in my life? Or does Adria have some yet unforeseen part to play in the future events? The bitter truth is that I do not know, and I fear I never truly will.